Hello and welcome. I'm back to continue with the subject corporate governance and ethics. We've been studying the board corporate governance models. In today's lesson, we are proceeding to the next model, which is the consensus board. Consensus board. Consensus board. In studying the consensus board, we are going to outline the characteristics, the limitations, and the benefits of the consensus board. But first of all, we are going to describe what a consensus board is. And it is a form of corporate governance in which decisions are made based on the consensus of all board members rather than by the majority vote. Decisions are made under these models. Decisions are made by consensus of the board rather than by the majority vote. In this model, the board seeks to work together collaboratively to achieve shared goals and objectives. You understand? And each board member is given an equal voice, and all opinions are valued and taken into consideration. And rather than trying to win a vote or push through a decision, the board members aim to find a solution that everyone can agree on. So the consensus board model is often used in organizations that prioritize collaboration and cooperation, such as the non-profits, the community organizations, and social enterprises. And it is also used by organizations that prioritize long-term strategic vision over short-term gains. So while the consensus board model can be effective, while it can be effective in promoting inclusivity and collaboration, it can also be time-consuming and challenging to implement, particularly if there are strong personalities or conflicting interests or opinions on the board. It also requires a high level of trust and open communication among the board members. So for this model to operate, there has to be trust and open communication among the board members. Sometimes the consensus board model is referred to as the process model, and it is a unique governance structure that emphasizes collaboration, equal participation, and shared decision making among the members. That's the meaning of consensus board governance model. Decisions are made by consensus at the board rather than by the majority vote. So here are some of the characteristics of this model. One, equal authority and responsibility. Equal responsibility and authority. That is one characteristic. All board members have equal voting rights, they have equal responsibilities, and they also have equal liabilities. And there is no hierarchical structure because all decisions are made collectively by the entire board. The second characteristic is in relation to decision making. Collaborative decision making. Collaborative decision making is a feature of the consensus board. Decisions are reached through consensus, meaning that all board members must agree on a course of action. And such process involves open communication, active listening, and also willingness to compromise. 3, focus on the process. There is focus on the process. That means that the model emphasizes the importance of well-defined decision-making process that is transparent, inclusive, and respectful of all viewpoints. And such process often involve discussions, debate, negotiations until a consensus is reached. Focus on process. The model also emphasizes relationships. Emphasis on relationships. There is emphasis on relationships. Building strong relationships among board members is crucial for effective collaboration and consensus building. Emphasis on relationships. So this model encourages trust, open communication, and also mutual respect among the board members. 5, limited use of committees. There is limited use of board committees because while committees may be used for specific tasks, the consensus board model typically relies on the full board for most decision making, the full board. And that ensures that all members are involved in decision making. Then we need to cite commitment to shared values. There is commitment to shared values. Commitment in a consensus board model, there is commitment to shared values. The model works best when board members share a common set of values and are committed to organizational mission and goals, because that then will help to create a sense of unity and a sense of purpose. So these are 6 characteristics of a consensus board. Benefits. The first benefit is that there is increased engagement and ownership. In a consensus board model, there is increased engagement and ownership. The collaborative nature of the model fosters a sense of ownership and responsibility among the board members, leading to increased engagement and commitment to the organization's success. Number 2 is the element of diversity, diverse perspectives. Because unlike in the normal models where boards use committees, remember we said that there is limited use of committees, meaning that decisions are made by the entire or the full board. And by valuing the input and perspectives of all board members, the model ensures that decisions are well-rounded, considering a variety of viewpoints and also potential consequences. It leads to number 3, stronger relationships. There is potential for stronger relationships and trust, because the emphasis on open communication, the active listening, and also collaborative decision making build stronger relationships and trust among the board members, creating a positive and supporting environment, stronger relationships and trust. That is a benefit. The fourth benefit is higher quality decisions. This model generates higher quality decisions. Higher quality decisions. Higher quality decisions. The consensus-based decision-making process leads to more thoughtful and creative solutions because it encourages thorough discussions and thorough exploration of different opinions, which leads to higher quality decisions. That is benefit number 4. 5, greater unity and alignment may lead to greater unity and alignment. The shared decision-making process fosters a sense of unity and aligning members, leading to greater cohesion, leading to shared commitment to the organization's goals. Shared commitment to the organization goals, which fosters a unity and alignment. So these are benefits of consensus board. Limitations. What are the limitations of this kind of board governance model? Now, the first limitation is related to time. It's time consuming. Time consuming. Because reaching consensus can be time consuming. It is a time consuming process, especially with issues that are complex or where there are large groups of board members. And that can slow down decision making and may not be suitable for organizations that require quick responses. Number 2, there is potential for stalemate. Potential for stalemate. Now, if board members have strongly opposing views and are unwilling to compromise, then reaching consensus can be challenging, leading to stalemate and thereby hindering progress. There is potential for stalemate, particularly where the members have strong views or opposing views. So reaching a consensus can be a challenge. There also arises the risk of groupthink. Risk of groupthink. There is a risk of groupthink. That is, the desire for consensus may lead to groupthink, where where opinions that are not welcome or where dissenting opinions are suppressed or ignored in favor of maintaining harmony. So there is the risk of groupthink, and that can result in suboptimal decisions, which can lead to suboptimal decisions. In pursuit of cohesion, unity, consensus, the dissenting voices may be suppressed, which can lead to groupthink and suboptimal solutions. That is a limitation. There are also challenges with large groups. Let me say challenges or limitations with large there could be challenges where the group is large. This model can become less effective as the number of board members increases, because it becomes more challenging to facilitate discussions and reach consensus with large group of people or directors. 5. The fifth limitation is in relation to facilitation skills. There is requirement for strong facilitation skills. Requirement for strong facilitation skills. What does that mean? Now here, candidates, the success of the consensus model depends on the facilitator's ability to guide discussions, to encourage participation, and also ensure that all voices are heard. And therefore, a lack of strong facilitation skills can hinder process, can hinder progress, can hinder the process, and that can be a limitation. So these are 5 limitations of consensus model. And that will mark the end of the lesson, where we have discussed the consensus model, which we said that it is a board governance model where decisions are made by consensus at the board rather than by the majority vote. We've outlined 6 characteristics. 1, equal responsibility and authority. One characteristic is related to equal responsibility and authority. Number 2, collaborative decision making. Number 3, it focuses on process. Number 4, there is emphasis on relationships. 5, limited use of committees. The model uses limited or no committees in decision making. There is also, lastly, commitment to shared values. We've outlined 5 benefits of the consensus model. One benefit is that it increases engagement and ownership at the board level. Through this model, there is also diverse perspectives, stronger relationships and trust, higher quality decisions are reached, and there is greater unity and alignment. Lastly, we've discussed limitations of the consensus model. One, we've said this model is time consuming, there is potential for stalemate, there is risk for groupthink, there are challenges with large groups, and there is the limitation in relation to facilitation skills. It requires strong facilitation skills. Thank you for attending the lesson. Here is today's assignment in relation to the consensus model. 1, reads, what are the defining characteristics of consensus board model and how does it promote collective decision making? Number 2, how does the consensus board model handle conflicts and different viewpoints within the board? Number 3, what are the benefits and drawbacks of using the consensus board model in terms of decision making, efficiency, and inclusivity? 4, how can an organization facilitate effective communication and collaboration among board members in a consensus board model? Thank you for attending the lesson. In our next session, we're going to discuss the competency board model. Bye.